what I've noticed is hoodoo is more popular among African Americans. Hoodoo is way more popular. If you Wikipedia hoodoo, it would tell you that it's low country. It's called low country voodoo. So hoodoo, Hoodoo, is very, very popular among African Americans. As far as witchcraft, they use hoodoo. Okay? See, God showed me all of this. Why y'all scared of it? You can't be scared of this, man. You know, you cannot. You got to be educated. I'm educated. See, y'all think educated means science and social studies. Education means you're informed about something. Okay? You need to be informed about a lot in life. And if you're a Christian and spiritual, you need to be informed about the other side. You need to know what enemies you're facing. That's why it doesn't work on me, because I'm too informed. I know how they work. I know what they do. Okay? So, hoodoo is, while we're still on what African Americans use, hoodoo started out with the slaves. They started using hoodoo, you know, and I suspect that many of them used it because they felt that God forsook them, because they were bitter, they were angry, and they could not believe that God would put them in a situation. And a lot of them used hoodoo, maybe used hoodoo for that reason. But the bottom line is, it was used among African slaves here in America, and then it just branched out in regions like in the South a lot, particularly where I'm from too, in North Carolina. Hoodoo is very popular in South Carolina, where you have high-ranking warlocks like Dr. Buzzard. Dr. Buzzard, people know him all over the country. He was a famous warlock. Okay, Dr. Buzzard used hoodoo, and he came from South Carolina. So he came from the Carolinas. That's where I'm from. Hoodoo is very popular there. I probably grew up around more hoodoo than I know. I probably have family members that practice hoodoo, or you know, got spells cast on other people. It's like that in the South. Okay? And then you have voodoo. Now, voodoo is used among African Americans too, but I noticed that a lot of different African ethnicities outside of African American use voodoo, like Haitians. Voodoo, obviously, Haiti is where the headquarters for voodoo. I've watched voodoo practitioners in Haiti, because that's really where it comes from. It's popular in New Orleans and in Florida, voodoo. Now, voodoo, like I said, it's popular among Haitians, different ethnicities of African that are not African American that migrated here. They go with voodoo. Okay? Voodoo uses the elements. You have people that are in voodoo that are masters of water. They're either masters of water, fire, air, or earth. And how I've been educated on it is listening to a Haitian voodoo practitioner, is that most people don't master all the elements. They either gravitate to one of the elements. So a voodoo practitioner may become a master in water, in the water element, or the fire element, or the air element, or the earth element. There's usually a voodoo practitioner usually doesn't master more than one element. They just master one element, and I guess feel comfortable in that element. Okay, now with Hispanics and Latinos, if you see the beads, that's a denomination that represents witchcraft. They may have them under their neck, put in their shirt. They may wear them outwardly. That's voodoo. That's a form of witchcraft, a denomination of witchcraft. The one I know about is the Santeria. You know, and there's many different forms of Hispanic and Latino witchcraft. But the one I know about the most is the Santeria. Okay, so there's no people that don't use it. There's no pure race of people that don't use it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, every race, every ethnicity, every race that's under the sun uses some form of witchcraft. You have to understand this. You can't be looking at Hispanics and Latinos like, oh, they're so innocent, like angels. They do nothing wrong. They use witchcraft too. They consult spirits of Diablo as well. Okay? And you cannot be sitting around here in America where witchcraft in 2022 is at an all-time high, meaning more higher than the 80s, more higher than the 90s, more higher than any other time. The times are more wicked. So therefore, witchcraft is at a more higher place in popularity among young people. You know, you see the crystals, that's signs of it too. Wearing the crystals around the neck, on rings or something. Bracelets, all of that. You have to be aware. Just like you have churches in every neighborhood, you got witches and warlocks in every neighborhood. This is how you have to think. Because some of you are so naive and simple, you think ain't no witches and warlocks in your neighborhood. That's just like saying ain't no Christians in your neighborhood. There's probably some Christians in your neighborhood. In America, I don't care what neighborhood it is, there's probably some Christians. We all can agree on that, right? Most neighborhoods in America, you at least got a couple Christians. At least somewhere in the nook and cranny, probably in the neighborhood somewhere. There's gotta be a Christian. It's the same thing with witchcraft. There's somebody that practices witchcraft somewhere around you. Okay? You're just not used to the world of witchcraft or know about it. Now that I know about it and how popular it is, I know for a fact, I conclude every neighborhood has a witch or a warlock. And I'm not saying that to be cute and to go along with my subject and my video. Every neighborhood in America, an average neighborhood has a witch or a warlock in it. They got to. Let's put it like this. It's just as common as a Christian in your neighborhood. Okay? It's just as common. It's nothing really super special about a witch or a warlock in America. They're here. I've watched them, I've studied them, and see, many of you have not done that. And that's why I'm more on, that's probably what inspire me to go to the next level. Like, I don't play any games, spiritually speaking. I don't play any games. If there's enemies, I'm sending out spiritual work. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. If you are opposing me in any form or fashion, I am sending out godly spiritual work against you. You can be assured that it's coming and it's on the way. And I probably was inspired by studying these witches and warlocks when they talk about the struggles that they go through with each other. Because, see, what Christians don't know, you think witches and warlocks are always focused on you. No, they fight among themselves. This I didn't know. They're not all in unity. They fight among each other. They put work, what they call work, spiritual work, which are spells and hexes and curses. They put spiritual work on each other. Another witch will put spiritual work on another witch. Another warlock will put spiritual work on another warlock. This is what they do. They go back and forth. They fight for years sometimes. Why you think they're just out there focused on you? It's a whole different world than you're not familiar with. You don't know nothing about it. I've studied it. And from learning about how they go back and forth in their spiritual work, I've learned as a Christian to use my spiritual weapons on anybody opposing. If you're opposing me, I'm putting godly spiritual work on you. And that can be a system, a government, police, food stamp office, any kind of food stamp program. If you're playing with me and you come off fishy and you come off caseworkers, any of that, you come off funny or fishy, I'm putting spiritual work on you. And some people may feel like, oh, well, that's like, see, when you talk like this, people think this means voodoo or witchcraft. Nah. It means I am an aggressive spiritual warrior. I am aggressive when it comes to my spiritual war. That's what people get. They underestimate me. They judge a book by its cover. When it comes to my spiritual war, I am extremely aggressive. Extremely aggressive. Intensely, extremely aggressive when it comes to my spiritual warfare. I don't do this to be cute. This is not me trying to dress up and be a soldier. This is how you get results. This is how you keep devils off your back. You have to be spiritually aggressive. If you sit back and you just let people play with you, and you got a hunch that somebody trying to hex you or curse you, or you can hear it in the walls, you can hear it in your neighbors playing games, people around you in the halls of your apartment, and you hear it and you can feel that it's witchcraft. You can feel that it's psychological. You shouldn't sleep on that. See, I'm fasting concerning my building. I'm fasting concerning the boulevard I stay on, and I'm fasting concerning the neighborhood. All of this is covered. They don't know that. I am extremely aggressive when it comes to my spiritual warfare. I've covered this building that I live in. All of this is covered. I've covered the neighborhood and the main boulevard, the whole boulevard. The whole thing. That's called spiritual aggression. Why they think I'm sitting here surrounded or trapped or whatever, or in a hole or hiding or anything, man, I'm so extremely aggressive in my spiritual warfare. It ain't even funny. I got the building covered. I got the boulevard I stay on, Astoria Boulevard. I got that covered. I got the whole neighborhood I stay in, Jackson Heights. I got that covered. I ain't playing no games. I'm not playing. They thought I was, and I'm not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I ain't playing. And this is how you gotta be. You start sensing witchcraft is going on in your neighborhood, you gotta start some fasting. You know it's an individual that's at your job. At your job, even your manager might be a witch. Your manager might be a warlock. Hey, it can happen. It can be. And you cannot be ignorant. When God show you this, you cannot be acting like, well, it don't really matter. Yes, it do. You don't know what kind of hexes and curses they putting on you. Might be trying to kill you. You don't even know. And when you find out that a witch and warlock is trying to attack your life, you gotta put some spiritual work on them people. You gotta let them know what time it is. It's a new era of spiritual warfare, man. And you gotta fight back. Look, people say we fight not against flesh and blood. Let me tell you something about that. In the Bible, what did David do as a king? King David, what did he do? In the Bible, he fought against flesh, physical people. What did Samson do? They killed over, 100,000 people? Or 10,000? Which one? I think it was 10,000. Okay, he killed thousands of people is the bottom line. Thousands of Philistines. Samson killed them with a donkey's jaw, right? In his hand, killed them. That's fighting against flesh and blood. What did the children of Israel do when they were encountering other countries and things? They fought against flesh and blood. The whole Bible will show you the history of the people of God fighting against human beings. That's why you can't read half of the Bible. You can't get little scriptures and be trying to sound cute and trying to be sounding lovable. Because Christians here in America, I noticed that your strong suit is being lovable. That's a 7. You all about being lovable. You all about being a lovely person. You all about being full of love and giving out love. Well, what happens when you got to go to war? I mean, for real, because we live in times now when people are robbing pastors. They just the other week, right here in New York, where I'm at now. Just the other week, they went in, they robbed the pastor. They went in the church. They had no fear of spiritual power. They could have dropped dead under the power of God. They could have. And you sitting up talking about we don't fight against flesh and blood. It's time out. It's time out for these Christians that's just one-sided, and you all you are is a lovable. When it comes to war, you're nothing. You're no good for us. All you can do is walk around like a docile person, not like a humble person, a docile person, acting lovable, like you're a lovable person. You're a lovable person, but you when it comes to war, this real war that we fighting, you're useless. You're on the sidelines. And I have to take the bad rap for showing the whole Bible, showing you the whole history of the people of God, where they went to war with real people. So you can snap out of it and realize the time we live in, where people are becoming more aggressive, ready to kill Christians. And we can no longer just act like, oh, it's a time of love and we got to love. You're going to be dead, physically, for real dead. The Bible makes it very clear. We fight, God's people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's how we're destroyed, right? We're destroyed because we don't know something. We're destroyed because of that. You know what I mean? And you have to Educate yourself. Inform yourself of all the things that you must be and what you must do. If you don't inform yourself and you walk around here like some loving space cadet, because I'm not a space cadet. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of my environments, and I cover them spiritually. Space cadets just walk around like it's all good. I don't walk around like it's all good. Yeah, a lot of my enemies may think I do. I don't walk around like it's all good when it's not all good. When it's wartime, I'm going to war. When it's wartime, I'm going to war. I'm not playing with anybody. Black, white, anybody. I'm not playing with nobody. Because it's black people use witchcraft too. They done sold they soul to the devil too. You know what I mean? They in darkness. We live in the last hours of the earth. You think black people are not together? So you don't need to feel bad if you have to go to war with black people. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel racist about it either. Look what times we live in. I don't feel racist about that. Now, if you white, you may think it's racist because you are ultra sensitive to fighting black people, but I'm used to it because I'm black. So you can't speak from my experience. You can't speak for what it is. That part, you can't speak for what it is. I know what it is. And it ain't nothing but us fighting among ourselves, and I'm going to fight back. As simple as that. Do we hit below the belt? Of course we do. We're humans. But at the end of the day, it ain't got nothing to do with racism. It really, all it has to do with is a war. That's what it has to do with. And if you stupid, say you're stupid. It ain't got nothing to do but with war. That's what it's all about. Now, war is dirty. You're going to hit below the belt. You're going to say things that hit below the belt. That's what I mean. You may even do things that hit below the belt. But at the end of the day, there's a conflict. It's not racism. It's a conflict that's going on. Now, are you going to say all the right things to somebody that's opposing you? Probably not. Are black people more hateful towards each other more than ever? Yes. Things that you would think that would not come out the minds of, or the thoughts, or the words of black people. It's happening now. Everything else is happening. You don't think that's going to happen? Black people saying the worst things to each other, thinking the worst things of each other. Of course that's going to happen. That's part of the final hours we're living in. You think that's going to be together while the world is falling apart? Black people just going to be thinking the best of each other. You can't be simple. You cannot be simple. You can't be simple. The war is nasty. Everything is dirty. That's what's going on. Okay? You have to get up, use your spiritual weapons, and fight. I hear a lot of people, a lot of Christians. I've listened to a lot of ministries since I've been back focused in my spiritual walk. Everybody's talking about, these people doing this, they doing that. They're going to, these particular people that are doing things to Christians and all of this, and that's good. It's very informing. But I'm going to tell you what you need to do concerning these people that they're talking about, that these ministers on YouTube is talking about. I'm telling you what you need to do. You have to put spiritual work on these people. Hey, look, man, do I need to go to the Bible and show you how flesh and blood fought against flesh and blood? Do I need to do it? Because you American Christians are the worst with this. You think that all you need to be is love. That's not all you need to be. The Bible says put on the full armor of God. That's more than love. You just walking around like a love space cadet. You got to snap out of that. We're in the last hours and you need to fight. You need to use spiritual work, spiritual weapons in order to do that, in order to fight. You can't just be talking about just pointing to the air, thinking that's all it is. pointing to people talking about, yeah, I bind you. Yeah, that may work. I'm not doubting that. What you need to do, though, more than that, you need to fast. You need to start fasting concerning your enemies. You know you got an enemy on your job. You need to start fasting. You know you got an enemy in your family. You need to start fasting on them people, man. That's real. You need to start fasting on them. That's what's going to break them off. That's what's going to, like, you know, it's a witch in your neighborhood, warlock in your neighborhood. You need to start fasting on those people. You need to start giving to those two things when it comes to witches and warlocks and your enemies. You in America, you need to start fasting concerning them and giving to ministries concerning them. That's what you need to start doing. It's no other way around this. You cannot sit back haphazardly fighting this war. You cannot be haphazard about anything concerning this spiritual warfare. You need to be diligent. For people that are targeted as Christians, you're targeted by witches and warlocks. You need to be, in order for you to really break them off and give them what they're looking for, you need to fast and you need to give to big ministries or special ministries. Special ministers on YouTube. You need to start cash apping them. You need to start cash apping all the money you got left over. If you're in a place where you're dealing with warfare, witches and warlocks, but you in a place where you still drinking and turning up on the weekends, look, you can't be totally slipping. You got to give. You might not be able to fast, and you got this situation around you. You might not be able to worship, and like I'm telling you, you need to start giving all that little extra money that you just throw away. You need to start giving that to spiritual ministries against the witches and warlocks against your life. This is what's going to do it. I'm telling you, this is why my enemies are suffering now, because I've been fighting them for 3 years. They didn't know that. I've been fighting them for 3 years. That's why this country is in the shape that it's in. Once I realized what was going on, I know my spiritual weapons. I was like, hold up, I started fasting. I start breaking these spirits off, man. And now you see the shape of the country in now? Because they went against me nationwide. Police, all these people. I said, okay. I started fasting on all of them. Police, I fast on them too. Yeah, sure do. They come by playing their little military games and all their little operations. They be the one going around trying to assassinate people's characters in the community. They the ones that be doing these little operations. Like nobody don't know. Man, it's either police, National Guard, or FBI, or all the above. Even CIA. It's all of them in that. And so the best thing for you to do is to fast against FBI, fast against CIA, fast against military, National Guard, specifically, because they're all in your community. See, civilians, you don't know that National Guard is in every city. That's why it's called National Guard. They guard the nation. But you're not conscious of that, and they know you're not conscious of it. A lot of you civilians, you've been civilians all your life. You need to wake up to the National Guard. You know police are here. You know that. You're conscious of police being in your environment, but you're not conscious of the National Guard. They have to know if terrorists are in neighborhoods. They have to know if terrorists are among everyday people. You have to be aware of this. Okay? National Guard, military are in your cities. They're riding around all throughout your cities. You got volunteers for police that do work for police, that do work for military. They're among you as well. They're in your neighborhoods where people are, where humans are. Wherever humans are, they have their people there. That's just look at it like that. And if they're playing with you, because the times are wicked and evil, these people crossed over to doing wickedness. A lot of them did. National Guard, police, especially police. They dirty. A lot of them are dirty as they come. And they have crossed over to wickedness, witchcraft, and all of that. Psychological warfare. They've crossed over to all of that. And you have to fast against the police. If you notice that the police is in your path as a Christian, and you keep seeing this over and over again, you got to do what I did. I said, hold up, And I ain't doing no crimes. And you got all these people out here crazy doing crimes all the time. They breathing down my neck like I'm doing something. No, you taking my peace for granted. So I'm going to give you some warfare then. You took my peace for granted. Then hey, you must want a war. You must want a war. You must want to see the soldier in me when you're taking my peace for granted and when I am showing you no attention. When they start playing around me, I show them attention. Sure did. And if you see police, local police, targeting you for no reason, you need to start fasting concerning them. Because you can't just trust no badge. No blue suit and a badge. I don't trust that. These people racist out here. Killing people, killing black people. Killing them. Found out to be killing them like murder. They just got the dudes. They just now arrested a dude, two cops concerning George Floyd. Concerning they went to prison. Concerning breaking his rights. You cannot be just so gullible. You can't be naive and gullible.